Welcome to this video. I'm going to show you how to draw your right triangle with the different positions that can be shown. In each case, we're tracking the position of a fly. The fly is moving around and it's located near a cup. The origin is this corner right here of the cup, the top left corner. The fly's position has been labeled with the point P. So here's the point P, and then later in time the fly is at this new point P, and it continues in numbers 3 and 4. The first thing you do is you draw your R arrow, which is the general position. Here's the rule. General position arrow starts at the origin, and it points to the position P. That's R. The next thing you do is you draw X and Y. You go back to the origin, put your pen back at the origin, and you could either draw X first and Y second, or you could draw Y first and X second. Which one do we do? In this class we will always draw, X first. It's a little better. And then continuing where we left off, where X leaves off, we will draw Y second. I'm going to come back to theta after a bit, after doing these other examples. We know that X and Y are at a right angle, so I like to mark the angle. On to number 2. Now the fly is at this position down here. Where is the fly from the origin? Well, kind of down, left and down. So we draw our general R arrow, starting at the origin and pointing at the fly. That is R. Start at the origin again, and you point to the fly's position. Next, we go back to the origin. We draw our X first, and then our Y position second. Notice that from the origin, the fly is to the left. Right, so here's the origin, and then left of that is the fly on this level. And then also from the origin, you have to go down to get to the fly. And check it out, my arrows show left and down. That's where they point. So I've got it correct. And this is a right angle between X and Y because the X-axis and Y-axis are perpendicular. Okay, on to number 3. We start at the origin, and you extend the R arrow, the general position, to the point P. Then you go back to the origin, draw the X first, and the fly is to the right, so my arrow points to the right. See, here's the fly, here's the origin, the fly is to the right. And then we also say, okay, the fly is also down from the origin, so my Y vertical position points down. That's a decent vertical position, but you'll be able to do better on your paper. And again, right angle. Lastly is this on the right. You start at the origin and point to the fly's position, P. That's your general position, R. Then you go back to the origin, draw the horizontal position first, X, and then draw the vertical position second, Y. These two X and Y, those two arrows are at a right angle to each other. The last thing to do is draw in theta, the angle. Theta always goes between X and R. And what I like to do, when I mark the angle, I like to say, where is R? Well, it's up from X. I wouldn't put a down arrow here. I would not put a down arrow because now I'm telling you where X is. But I already know where X is. It's on the X-axis. So instead of putting a down arrow, I say, hey, look over here. R is some number of degrees, theta, up, hence the up arrow right here, up from horizontal, or up from the X-axis. Again, theta goes between X and R, and I want to say, okay, where is R pointing? Well, R is pointing down from the X-axis, down some number of degrees, theta. And the next one I go, okay, where's R? It's here. Where's X? It's here. So theta is between the two. And you have to go down from X to get to R. How far down? R is located about, this number of degrees, theta, down from the X-axis. And lastly, here's x and r. To get to r, you have to go up from the x-axis. So how high up? Well, some number of degrees theta. That's the answer. So remember, theta tells you the direction of the general position. So if you're ever asked to find general position, you will need to calculate not only the value of r, but also the value of theta.